Homemade mayonnaise is one of the simplest ways to get into from-scratch cooking. It's kind of a gateway condiment. Today what we're going to do is we're going to sous vide our eggs to pasteurize them for mayonnaise. Now, you don't have to do this. If you want to make a mayonnaise, you can use a raw egg, but I like to pasteurize them because I have a husband who's a germaphobe, and if he thinks anything has been out for like a minute longer than it should, he thinks it needs to be thrown away. So what I like to do is make sure the eggs are pasteurized so that he can't tell me that we need to throw the mayonnaise out like 2 hours after it's made. Mayonnaise can be made with basically any kind of oil, but I like to use avocado oil because it's better for you than canola oil. When I first bought my sous vide immersion circulator, I had big plans for making a bunch of meat with it, and then I kind of realized that I don't really want to be cooking my food in plastic, so I've tried to find other ways to use it without having to worry about leaching plastic into my food. Since I'm trying to avoid using my sous vide immersion circulator to do meat, I like to do things like pasteurizing my eggs, poaching them, or making extracts like vanilla extract. So I have an Anova immersion circulator. I got this probably at this point 10, 11 years ago. It's still going strong, still works great. Any brand will do. I'm not even sure how much they cost now. This was about $100 when I bought it, but I feel like there are so many different immersion circulators out there that you could probably find one for cheaper. All you need is your immersion circulator, some kind of vessel to hold the water, and whatever you're sous videing. So there is a hole in the top of the lid so that you can hold the immersion circulator. You don't technically have to have something that's made for sous videing. You can just put it in a container, wrap it with foil or plastic wrap just to keep the heat in there, and you can do that instead because this is kind of a big container just to do 3 eggs, but it's what I have, and so I'm going to use it. Salmonella dies at 130 degrees when held at that temperature for 60 minutes. The term in science for this is thermal death time. I like to buffer my temperature by going to 133 degrees Fahrenheit, just so I know that it has been fully cooked at a safe temperature. And I also like to do 75 minutes instead of an hour, just to be sure. If I'm gonna do this, you may as well do it right? So I'm gonna turn on the circulator. And it's gonna kind of sound like a little jacuzzi going on in there. Okay, so it's going to heat up to 133 and we're going to wait to put the eggs in until it has hit 133. Okay, while we're letting that heat up, let's talk about the eggs. So I took these eggs out about 45 minutes ago to let them come to room temperature. We need the temperature of 133 to permeate the egg yolk and the egg white. So we really want it to be a similar temperature before it gets started so it's not battling a cold egg, so we don't get an off-kilter pasteurization. So I'm gonna wait until this is hit 133 to put them in and to start my timer. Also, I'm only doing 3 eggs. If you want to pasteurize more or less, whatever, it's up to you. I only recommend if you're doing a container about this size to do 12 eggs max, because you do want there to be water flow between your eggs so that it's getting contact from the water and heat all around. If they're stuffed in too tight, you might not get an even heating through. So 12 is the max, I would say. Okay, my temperature is at just about 133 degrees. So I'm going to use a slotted spoon to carefully get them in there so they don't crack. So I'm lifting them out. Just gonna slowly Alright, so now that they're in there, I'm going to wait until it hits 133 exactly. It will beep on my machine, and then I'm going to set a timer for 75 minutes. So I'm going to do that. I'll be back in 75 minutes, and we're going to put these in an ice bath for 20 minutes. To preface all this, you might want to do this on a different day. Like say you're doing your meal prep, you might want to pasteurize eggs on one day and then plan to use it for the mayonnaise on the other day, because you don't want to use hot eggs or else you're going to get like a mayonnaise soup. So I'm doing it all in one day just because I'm recording this. If I were doing this on a typical day, I would plan this as part of my meal prep, have this done, have these pasteurized, and then have it in the fridge for whenever I want to make mayonnaise. So since I have 3 eggs, I can make 3 cups of mayonnaise all week. Okay, it's been 75 minutes, so I'm going to turn the immersion circulator off and put the eggs into an ice bath. Be sure to use a slotted spoon or something to get the eggs out because it is hot water. I'm gonna let my water come to room temperature and then just use it to water my garden. We're going to give the eggs 20 minutes in the water bath to come to basically a room temperature. And then we're going to make our mayonnaise. So we gave the eggs 20 minutes to come to room temperature. I'm going to crack it in the container that I'm going to make the mayonnaise in so that we can look at it. Okay, so I have my egg in the bottom of my jar. It has a bit of an opaqueness to it, which is totally okay. It's going to respond like a raw egg. But you can just see it swishes around. If you didn't know it was pasteurized, you would think that it was just a plain raw egg. So now, let's talk about making mayonnaise. The reason I like to make my own mayonnaise is because I don't want to have mayonnaise from the store that has a bunch of stabilizers, preservatives, all of that stuff in it. I like to control my ingredients, and this is one way that I can do that at home with a delicious product. The order that we put the ingredients in the jar matters because we're trying to create an emulsion. An emulsion is when you have two items that don't typically want to mix together and we're forcing it to mix together. So we've got the fat from the egg and the oil, and we have the water content from the egg, the lemon juice, and some from the Dijon mustard. So what we're trying to do is we're going to mix this with an immersion blender, and it's going to force those things to combine together and create the emulsion. We want the egg and the oil to come together slowly so that it can coax out the emulsion without making it break. So what we're going to do is put the egg at the bottom. Next, we're going to put a tablespoon of lemon juice right on top of that. I just do a little pinch of salt for flavor. And a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. This is going to add a little bit of flavor to the mayonnaise as well. If you've ever tried making mayonnaise without a mustard, it kind of falls flat and doesn't have much taste. So I really like adding Dijon mustard for that subtle flavor. So now we have it in the order we want. We want the eggs, lemon juice, salt, and the Dijon mustard in here. Next, we're gonna pour a cup of avocado oil on top. I'm going to explain how we're going to do that because it's going to be noisy when I turn it on. You're going to put the immersion blender at the very bottom of the cup. We're going to blend it for 20 seconds, watching to see the mayonnaise that's made at the bottom of the cup. Then you're going to slowly start lifting the immersion blender up and down to incorporate the rest of the oil on the top into the mayonnaise. You'll keep doing this until you see all of the oil incorporated into the mayonnaise. Once it's incorporated, stop so that you don't break your emulsion. All right, so we've got our mayonnaise, as you can see. It looks beautiful. It's a little bit more runny than the typical in-store mayonnaise because we're using room temperature ingredients. If you use cold ingredients, that can make it difficult for the emulsion to come together. So you always want to use room temperature ingredients. And then when you put this in the refrigerator, it's going to firm up a little bit. Taste your mayonnaise and see if it needs a little more salt or a little more Dijon mustard. It's based on what you like and your taste preference. I've got a little bit of mayonnaise on my finger. Very good. All right, and there you have it. We have homemade mayonnaise with pasteurized eggs. When you make homemade mayonnaise, if you use an egg that is not pasteurized, it can last in the fridge for about 2 to 3 days. If you make mayonnaise with a pasteurized egg, it can last up to 10 days in the refrigerator because at this point we're looking for spoilage, not bacteria growth because the eggs were pasteurized. So it really makes more bang for your buck to make it with pasteurized eggs just because you don't have to worry about the germs, and then you can also have it for longer in your fridge. It doesn't have all the chemical thickeners of a store-bought mayonnaise, so it's going to behave a little bit differently, but it will thicken up in the fridge. If you have any questions or need troubleshooting, you can go to my blog, The Bluster and the Burrow. I'm linking it below, and it has all kind of troubleshooting questions answered for you. You can put this in things like potato salad, you could put it in coleslaw, you can make, I like to make Caesar dressing or ranch dressing with homemade mayo. It's really anything that you would use typical store-bought mayo, you can use this mayonnaise. So, it's really just up to you. I feel like I want to say other things. It's avocado oil. I use avocado oil, but I'm not using extra virgin olive. I use avocado. Dear Lord. Making eggs for like, what's it called? Eggs for, what is it called? Oh my gosh. Poaching eggs. There we go. Is that we are, oh my gosh, why am I getting nervous? Okay. You don't technically, okay, I'm not sure where we left off. Filter what? And all your hands because it's pretty hot, even though it's only 100 and till the immersion. That means that the eggs. So taste your mayonnaise and see if it needs a little more salt or a little more mayonnaise. I feel like I don't have much more to say.